Hello everyone, I'm back again to talk to you about the suitability of the title of Aldous Huxley's novel Brave New World. In fact, the story of uh, a world to come, the world that will come, moved by the advanced technology, the world that would be heralded by restrictions on humanity and encouragement of technology is what Aldous Huxley thought to be a fit subject for being held as the mirror of the coming world to his audience. And what actually he meant by titling it as Brave New World. We'll see how the world in the novel Brave New World is brave. What are the things that make this world a new world? The first and foremost is the, the usage of technology that would be employed in this world to control society. Society, which is composed of living beings, and technology, which is machines and parts. How will they tyrannize the society that is human? So, in Brave New World, this technology has had its command over human society, and here children are not begotten as they generally are. There is a rigid control over reproduction, and there is a surgical removal of ovaries so that life in its initial stage is controlled by technology. In this brave new world, some complicated entertainment machines have been generated, have been produced, which would induce a state of leisure, that is, suspension of analytical activity and promotion of leisure. This, according to the ages to come, according to the tyranny of technology over society, would be instrumental in bringing the world state's stability. When people will have lost definitely their analytical faculty, actually the world would be stable. And the world that was just bent upon producing machines, it would not allow for the mastery of the greatest machine, that is human brain. So that was suspended further. The faculty of analysis was suspended further in this society where the use of soma, the liquor that puts in a half stupor state all the human beings. And what is foremost is that the use of technology to control society would be to the extent that whereas the state would be talking about progress in science, actually it would be meaning to build technology that will only create a superficial world. The society would be controlled, so it would be machine controlling the humans turned machines. Now the second thing that go on to suggest the validity of this title, which is the Brave New World, is that in this brave new world, the society would be only a consumer society. The society would not be producer, because already their faculty to normally produce children, to tutor them as they would according to their customs and traditions, has been curtailed. And when it is a consumer society, we know that the term itself is indicative. The consumer word is indicative of something prepared by others and we trying to use it, thinking that it is going to do us good. So, this world state will have a, a kind of society's economic values in which individual happiness would be defined as the ability to satisfy needs. So, state would be catering to the satisfaction of individual needs, and how much individual would they be will also be dictated by state. So, it would be like things on a display which one can afford and one would want to buy, and very importantly can afford, would be provided to him, and that again the state would decide who can be entrusted with which of the produced things. I should say things, because then they would be, after having come out from the hatchery, they would be alpha, beta, gamma, epsilons, and so on. So the consumer society is reflected in this title of Brave New World. It would not, this world will have no producers but state, and everyone else would be a consumer. The third aspect of this that is suggested in the title is the incompatibility of happiness and truth. Now, we all can see that in this world where state is governing the production of humanity, if at all it is humanity, so in this state, the truth is that they are all mechanized, that they are all produced by the state. So, is there any possibility of a happiness? The happiness that comes with creation, the happiness with which comes with interaction, the happiness that comes with genuine love, that is experienced and extended to the fellow beings. This has been curtailed. This has been, I shouldn't say curtailed, this has been clipped off. This has been restricted. Absolutely. The word of the state is law, and no one is beyond that. Everyone is a subject to the theme that has been generated by the state in the name of a world society. So when soma, the drink which people have been made accustomed to drinking, this will cause around a willful self-delusion. It would cloud the realities of the present, and it would induce into them a happy hallucination, and that these self-deluded people, because they will have no say and they will have no faculty to put forward a say, therefore happiness would be prevalent. People, whatever they are in, whatever state of mind, whatever state of body that they are in, they will delude themselves to believe that this is the state of happiness, and that would be not the truth, but the exercised truth, the imposed, the superimposed truth for the people. Now, in this world, which would be the brave new world, in this new world is brave only because the powers are vested in very selective, very nominal few. So, when the state would be an all powerful state, when it would exercise its influence and control over all the natural activities, starting from birth until death, then it would be a deadly world. It would be new because this is not the one that was created by nature. Nature has given scope for every individuality, and that launches us into the fifth implications from the title, that is, in this brave new world which Aldous Huxley has brought forth for us, there would be an absolute loss of individuality. No one will be able to feel or perceive the natural individuality that everyone has. There would be scientific processes, as we have seen that technology will be mistaken for science. And when technology works, because this is the novel which was written after the development of the Ford's Model T, and taking example from that and from the tempest, the tempestuous conditions in which it is decided that few would be ousted because they seem to be impediments in the way of absolute tyranny of the ruler. So, people will be made, how will they be individuals at all when they have all undergone one process of generation, one process of cultivation, and one process of growth, if this can be understood as a growth? The citizens will only feel that they are a part of a whole. The individuality would actually be non existent. It would be a dream. And only you can feel happy with the title that what is to come will be a brave, will be a new, and would be a world. How can happiness ever exist when there is an omnipotent agency, the governing force? So there cannot be, you can't imagine any kind of happiness to be existing here. This would be brave. Why will this be brave? Because the producers, the ones who herald this world, are brave enough to destroy every individuality, to destroy any compatibility of one with the other, any individuality. There would be brave producers, and the ones who will exist in this world thinking under the impact of, under the influence of Soma, that they are individuals, according to Aldous Huxley, as also according to us, should be the deluded people who would believe that they are brave, that they are braving under an omnipotent technology. It would be new. Why would it be new? Because the old one says that it has been created by, it has come as a process of advancement, as a process of evolution. We have evolved according to the old system and science. We believe that we have all originated from a unicellular organism, and with constant progress and constant development, we have now come to be called, we have now as human beings come to occupy the highest peak, the pinnacle of development as Homo sapiens. Now this new world would be the complete reverse of it. From this state of individuality, we would all plummet down to that unicellular state where no difference can be found between, if you look closely at the first cell of every living creature, you will find that there is actually no difference between them. So we will be translated into this new form. A reversal of the process of evolution will take place, and that, if you can call it, is new. But then it would be a world. Why world? Because the slogan of this world would be mass production. If you must have read a poem of Solitude of Alexander Selkirk. In this, there is one individual, Alexander Selkirk, who is on an isolated place. He is suffering a solitude, but he feels himself a monarch. How can one be called a monarch or a ruler if one doesn't have subjects under them? So in this world, we all will feel like monarchs because we will all be provided with a similar genetic material, a similar technology. We will all be governed by same laws. Our happiness would be guaranteed by the world. But what? At the cost of individuality. So it would be a world, and as the principle of Ford was to do a mass production, only that will cut down the cost. When things are produced in large numbers, the cost automatically falls. So when he was producing his automobiles, it was after that, after the mass production, that he was able to give to the world the Model T, the cost of which was very, very nominal in comparison to the existing automobiles. So also we would be the similar kinds. Human beings, humanity would be the world full of people, all similar kinds. But then the cost would have fallen. Looking at all this, when technology is supreme and tyrannizing in the guise of science, in which people are forced to become consumer of the policies of state, in which the happiness and truth will also be made visible to the people by the agency of state which would be all powerful, state which would decline any individuality, and which would be the agency to give us happiness. We can see that this is not a blissful state. A blissful state is a utopia. And what Aldous Huxley has presented for us is a dystopia, is just the reverse of that happy state in which man is supposed to exist. Man is given every faculty wherein he can show his development, his individuality, his singular qualities. These would come to an end. And in the state when we would have, instead of evolution, devolved and gone back to our primitive state, this definitely is the portrayal of a dystopia. In the next lecture, I would try to explain to you what is dystopia. To understand what I have said now, you can touch upon the various points which are the thematic concerns in this novel, Brave New World. Thank you.